Good morning. Good morning to you out there, all my students, business students, economic students, and accounting students. Today we'll talk about the business size. Okay, the business size is the third chapter of the first unit of the AS level Cambridge Business Studies. So we'll deliberate on business size, and if you follow it gradually, you are going to understand the entirety of it. It's very easy. We are trying to make business studies very easy for all the students out there, especially those who are preparing for the IGCSE. Now, what's the business size? The business size simply refers to, or it simply means the capacity of a business operation or a company's operation. Yes, that it just means the level of a company's operation. So, and it is very important for the size of a business to be known, especially to the government. It is important for the government to know the size of a business because the size of business determines the taxes allocated to businesses in the country. So then it is also important for investors to know the size of a business because investors who are ready to take risk will need to know the size if it's a small or medium or large size of kind of business for them to invest, and they know the level of profit or dividends or to make or returns to make after investing their money. Then the size of a business is also important to banks because it determines the level of loans or the amount of loan given to businesses. It's also important to competitors because they'll need to know the sizes of businesses within the country in order for them to know how to upgrade their activities to meet up with the level. So you may be asked in an examination, what are the importance of a business size to the government, to the investors, to the banks, to the competitors? Just you can just use your common sense, especially for the government. You can just use your common sense to understand that the government needs to know the size of business to be able to understand or to know the amount of taxes to be allocated for that business. Okay, now how can business sizes be measured? Because of course we know that business are categorized into small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and large-sized businesses. So how can it be measured? How can it be known that this is a small business, this is a medium-sized business, and this is a large-sized business? The first way to know the size of a business is the number of its employees. Yeah, the number of employees, the UK law on employees explains that when a business employs less than 10 people, it is considered a small size business. When it employs from 10 to 50 people, it's considered a medium sized business. And when it employs above 50 people, or when it has above 50 employees, it is considered a large size business. So the number of employees employed in a business determines the size of that business. Then secondly, we have the value of its assets, the value of the asset of that company or of that business. The asset comprises of the fixed assets and the net current assets. So what the company has in its entirety as properties also determines the size of the business. Then we also have the number of outlet or the market value of the company. It can also determine the size of the business. Then we also have the capital employed or the capital invested in the business. It can also determine the size of that business. So we have the number of employees, the market size, the assets, the capital employed. These are the factors that can determine the size of a business. Okay, what are the importance of small businesses in a country? How are small businesses important in a country? The first reasons why small businesses are important in a country is they reduce the rate of unemployment. They help to create jobs, thereby employing people in the country, and this goes a long way to reduce the rate of unemployment in that country. Then they also assist in providing basic necessities or providing goods and services to citizens of that country. And also, if they provide jobs to citizens and it reduces unemployment, it means there is an increase in the standard of living of that country. Why? Because when more people are employed, they will have disposable income more, which will increase the demand for goods and services. So it obviously means that the people will be able to live well in that country. Then it is also important, small business size are also important because they contribute to government revenue because they pay taxes to the government. So since they pay taxes to the government, it means they are contributing to the government revenue, which will go a long way to increase the GDP of that country. So how are they also important is they provide new sources of ideas within the business environment. So these are five importance of small size businesses in the country. They provide jobs, which reduces unemployment. They contribute to government revenue. They contribute to increase the standard of living. They provide new ideas within the business space, and also they assist in providing the availability of goods and services. So these are the five importance of uh, small size businesses in a country. So, what are the advantages of businesses being small? Small size businesses are very easy to start. They are very easy to start. They are also very easy to coordinate. They are very easy to manage. Small size businesses are flexible. They can easily change to the changes of the business environment. They can quickly make decisions. Uh, so they are easy to set up. They are flexible to changes within the business environment. There is easy decision making, and there is also better communication. They have very easy and better communication because they are very small, so there is no barriers to communication. There's very easy flow of information within the business environment. So these are the advantages of business being small. But what are the disadvantages? The first is that it will be difficult for small size businesses to expand because of lack of finances. And because they are small, they may not get the collateral securities to secure loans from bank that may assist them to expand. So it is difficult for them to expand because they lack finances. Then they may also lack business experience. They may take wrong decisions that may affect the business. And also, it is difficult for small size businesses to survive in a political instability. In the midst of political instability, for example, when there are crises, small size businesses they find it difficult to survive within those periods because they have limited resources to survive. Okay, now, how can the government assist small size businesses in a country? Number one, they will try to reduce the taxes paid by this kind of size of businesses in the country. Number two, they will assist them by providing workshops, creating trade fairs, organizing seminars to educate small size businesses in the country to grow. Then they will also assist them to grow by giving them subsidies. Subsidies are the government support to small size businesses in order for them to meet up with or to survive. Then they will also try to reduce the rate of regulation for small size businesses. So these are the ways the government can support businesses in a country. So how can these businesses grow? This is very important. It's a very popular question in the IGCSE, method of growth. In the IGCSE, there are three very important areas that question used to come from. How can businesses be measured? You need to know that. You need to know business can be measured by number of employees, capital employed, the assets owned by the company, the market outlet, the market value of the company. So these are the ways it can be measured. Then how can the government support small size businesses is also important. So they assist them with subsidies, or they assist them with knowledge. They organize workshops, seminars for them. They reduce their rate of taxes and also reduce regulation on those businesses. Then they may ask you, how can businesses grow? There are two ways businesses can grow. Businesses can grow internally, and business can also grow externally. Okay. Now, what is internal growth? Internal growth of a business is when the business uses its own resources, for example, its labor, its assets, to expand or to create another branch to grow. So this means that there is no external intervention from whosoever or from whatsoever to determine the expansion of the business. Then businesses can also grow externally when when they merge with another business. They call it mergers. Yes, so these are the two ways businesses can grow: internally and externally. Internally by using its resources, and externally by merging with other businesses. And this merging results to what they call horizontal integration and vertical integration. And we also have what they call the conglomerates. Okay, so the horizontal integration is when firms at the same stage of production decide to merge or to take over or to come together. When firms at the same stage of production decide to come together. Of course, we know there are three stages of production. In geography, they said there are four. We have the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, and the quaternary. The quaternary mostly deals with research. Yes, but in business, we are left with three. That is the primary stage, the secondary stage, and the tertiary stage. So when the firms in the tertiary stage merge together, for example, a bank and an insurance company decide to come together to carry out activities in their different spheres, that kind of integration can be called horizontal integration. But vertical integration is simply talking about firms at different stages of production coming together. So, for example, if a bakery is taking over a flour mill, then we can say that is a vertical integration, because they are different stages of production. One is at the secondary stage, and the other is at the primary stage. Yes, and there are two categories of vertical integration. There is what they call the backward vertical integration and the forward vertical integration. Now, the backward vertical integration is simply talking about a firm operating in the secondary sector merging with a firm operating in the primary sector. It's called backward because the primary stage, the secondary stage is the second stage, and the primary stage is the first stage. So it's called backward integration. But when a firm operating in the secondary stage merges or integrates with a firm at the tertiary stage, it is called forward vertical integration. Then there's also conglomerate. Conglomerate is when a firm from a completely new different industry takes over a firm from another industry. For example, a firm operating within an educational industry or a financial industry taking over a firm operating in the food industry. For example, a bank going to take over a restaurant. Yes, it is considered conglomerate in business studies. So I think these are the few things you just need to pick up or pick out from the business side. So you need to know how businesses can be measured. You need to know how government support businesses. You need to know the importance of small size businesses in the country, and you also need to know how businesses can expand or how businesses can grow. So thank you very much for following us today. I am Mr. Chris, and I'll be with you every time and every day to enlighten you, to make your understanding very easy when it comes to business, economics, and accounting. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again. God bless you.